Hey, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I know it's been a good minute since I made a video besides my praying mantis videos. Like I said, I've been only reason why I've been making that is not to show my kung fu skills, if you will, but I'm trying to master this art called Chow Gai Tong Long, which means Chow style or Chow house praying mantis. And I was having some trouble remembering all that stuff by heart. So I figured my best bet, and it's not like you can find it on the tube like that, and even when you do, you know, it's kind of hard to read. It's hard to tell what the person doing it is doing because, they're moving so fast. I know I'm a big ass dude, but one advantage to that might be the fact that I'm moving slow, and slowness at this point is what I need so that I can eventually progress to moving as fast as my body will allow to. But like I said, I did that just so that I have something to go by and memorize. Especially that last form, I think it was called Sup Ji Jiao Kup Dao Sao, something like that. A long ass form, tedious too. I think for now I'm just gonna stop there and just go back to the basics. I mean that because even with me being a potential ninjutsu instructor at some point in the future, God willing, you know what I'm saying? Forms aren't everything. I'd rather, that's why, with my future students, I plan on teaching them structure, basis, things of that nature. Long before uh, going into the forms, and even when we do the forms, like kata and stuff, like, my message will be, what basically my sensei told me is, which is, you know, don't lose the basics. Always stick to always go back to the basics. But anywho, that's not even the crux. That's not even close to the crux of this video. That's another topic for another time. Reason why I'm even back is because, I'm not cooking tonight. Or, I'm not cooking anything that's going to require 3 hours on the stove. Uh, plus, yeah, to get back on that tangent, that martial arts tangent, I've been practicing. I finally found a way to practice, this this peculiar style known as dragon style. I finally found a way. You could almost say an online program for it. It's a little different. It's more like, it's like Google Chat by which I have to practice it. So, it's direct instruction. Even if you know, my Sifu, if you will, lives in NYC and I live out here in Denver. You know, I'm getting direct. I'm getting direct instruction nonetheless, and it's something that I've been wanting to do since I learned about this particular style of dragon. Because we were just talking about how many Chinese martial arts have, a dragon form. Specifically, Hongar has dragon. I'm pretty sure Choi Li Fut has dragon. Xing Yi has dragon. Bagua has dragon. I'm pretty positive Taiji has a dragon. So yeah, a lot of kung fu styles have dragon in them. Hell, even Northern Shaolin has their own dragon form apparently. But but this is a particular style that specifically is focused on the dragon. It's kind of like, like with Mantis or White Crane, there's a version of it, then there's an actual style of it that specifically focuses on, that animal, and more so, not necessarily even the movements of the animal, but more like the animal spirit. So, you can tell that you're not trying to, mimic the animal's movements more so than you're trying to mimic the animal spirit. So you're not intentionally forming, a dragon claw or a crane claw, but you're making the movements and using the same kind of power these animals would use. Same with, southern mantis, because there's southern mantis and then there's northern mantis, and I used to be subscribed to northern mantis, like 7-star mantis, but I was like, no, I'll stick to being a hobbyist, where I kind of just get a bunch of DVDs and, basically go from there versus receiving direct instruction like I'm doing with southern mantis. Because, not to criticize seven mantis, I guess it's just not my style. And I've studied quite a diligent amount of northern mantis before I transitioned. Then I learned about southern mantis, and I wanted to see what was up. And I was like, this what I need. Like, 7-star praying mantis, I can be a hobbyist, but southern mantis, that's what I need to learn. Because that teaches the essence of the movements of the praying mantis. Whereas, like I said, northern mantis just teaches you how to move like a praying mantis. But anyway, like I said, let's go ahead and get off that tangent, and let's talk about what we're here to talk about. So a lot of stuff, a lot of juicy stuff, a lot of juicy topics, right? So much so I'm almost on some miscellaneous type shit, for real. Because I don't know what the rant's about. I don't even know where to start. I really don't. Because in the midst of all this foolishness that's been taking place since the new year, right? It's been all over the place. It really has. I could rant about ninjas. I could rant about, Colorado and its own style of fuck shit with these fucking weirdos they got out here in their own little bubbling world. Or I could just rant about America as a whole and the consequences that they're dealing with. I mean, as far as all of y'all, like, not just like ninjas, Colorado, like, the whole nine, all y'all are dealing with. America as a whole. That's what I meant when I said all y'all. Obviously not you, sir or ma'am, because, hey, if it don't apply, let it fly, right? You know who you are. Because I guess now the reason why I want to rant about ninjas is because, since I've moved out here, I haven't moved anyplace else. Like I'm still in this refugee camp. That's something that I call it, because that's what I used to call my grandmother's house. Because as y'all know, I was a refugee in my own city before I moved to this city. And like I said, that was damn near 8 years ago. That was 7 years ago. And for whatever reason, there was this, and there's been this Vietnamese restaurant that's been sitting over across the street in this little shopping center across the street from where I stay. And for whatever reason, I wouldn't go there. I've been going there lately. I've been going there like a good minute now. At the very least since the new year. Because I think since the new year, up until the new year, I never went up in there. And I don't know if it was because of my criticisms of the food as a collective out here in Colorado, because there's so many garbage ass restaurants out here. I don't know what the deal was, but for whatever reason, I just wouldn't go there. There was this Chinese restaurant there was this Chinese restaurant and this liquor store that I would frequent, you know. But unfortunately, they didn't survive the pandemic. I mean, they survived the pandemic, but it was the aftermath of the pandemic. So they ended up closing down about 2 or 3 years ago, and that sucked. We lost a Chinese restaurant and a liquor store. And then there was this like this bar, and they had been around for a good minute, and they closed down this year. It was called WT Shorty's, but the place was pretty fucking weird, to say the least. I mean, it had a nice setup. It had a very nice setup. It had fucking pool. It had darts. Problem is, it had Coloradans. And lo and behold, they fucked that shit up. So, I mean, the way I see it, it's kind of bittersweet, but given what I've experienced there, I'm kind of looking at it, and it's not like I was kicked out there. It was just, I mean, the goofies that went up there, the weirdos, the locals, if you will. I kind of got mixed feelings about it. I'm kind of like, yeah, it's fucked up. We lost the bar, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't even feel like going into what some shit that happened that would have came to blows with. I mean, not necessarily the nigga fouling on me, but me fouling on this goofy ass clown ass nigga. And I've been saying even before it happened, that bar was definitely had some faggoty ass vibes to it, because it would be no bitches up in there, and the few bitches who did come up in there were fucking monsters. Ugly ass females. But then again, that's the gene pool for you. These bitches are not sexy like that out here, bro. They not. And the ones who went up in there are just a reflection of the kind of gene pool they have out here. So lately, I've been frequenting this Vietnamese restaurant that I've just been kind of leaving to the side, leaving out in the cut, not really fooling with like that. And yesterday, I was just doing what, I've normally been doing, or at least the past 4 months now, which is going up in there and enjoying, a pretty nice Vietnamese dinner. That's probably why, again, they appreciate me, because I go up in there and I spend a pretty buck. I go up in there to eat. The locals come over there, they buying one dish, right? They got their little bowl of pho. They got their little bowl of, or plate of, basically Vietnamese style fried rice and some slices of beef and chicken or whatever it is. And that's it. So last night I did what I did. I ordered what I ordered. Basically ran the tab. Ran it up to about $70. That's usually how much, I spend up in there. And like I said, I'm enjoying my pho. I'm enjoying my fried rice, my fried rice, as y'all say. Some people say, some racists say, Yeah, I got my wontons, I got my orange chicken. You know what I'm saying? And some you know what I'm saying? I look up, because I'm not even paying a whole lot of never mind. I just happen to look up, right? And I look out the window. I just happen to have my eyes directed at the window. And it's some YNs right outside. Two of them, some YNs, young niggas, walking out there. And one flashed something in my direction. And I don't even know, because he did it so fast, I don't even know, like, if he saw me for real. Or if he was just doing it to, like, do what niggas do. Be a whole terrorist. Because niggas pride themselves on being on some tough nigga shit. And the only way they can be on some tough nigga shit is they gotta have their blicks. But it happened so fast, I wasn't even aware that it was a blick. It took, like, after he had walked off, it took my mind, you know what I'm saying? It took my mind a good minute to realize, because it was like spray painted or something. You know what I'm saying? And then, he flashed the light at me, like, so it had a flashlight attached to it, type shit. And it took me a good minute after they done walked off for me to realize that, there was a muzzle at the end. So I was like, so basically, in other words, this YN flashed this blick at us. And it's so crazy because, most of the people there, and don't ask me why this was, but, I just found it strange that, so when I walked up in there, it was a whole gang of white folks, right? It was a whole gang of them folks. Then I brought my black ass up in there. They got up and got the fuck out. They paid their tab and whatnot. And then once they left, next thing you know, it was a whole gang of Mexicans that walked up in there. I don't know what's up with that shit. But it's very, I'll tell you this much, it's very indicative of the racial demographics out here. Because it's not like it was one whole Mexican family. No, it was various families. There was different families. It was like at least 3, 4, maybe even 4 of them motherfuckers. Different families. All of them Mexican. And most of them in there weren't even aware of what had happened. They didn't even see him. In other words, they weren't even studying this goofy. So my question is, why is, and there was one lady who saw him, and she was like, giving the abuelita, like, ay, Dios mío, los pinche mayates, ay, chinga su madre, los pinche mayates con sus cliques, con sus cohetes, güey. Like, and yeah, she gave me that look too. That was like, she looked back at me, and I was just up there shaking my motherfucking head. And it made a nigga feel some type of way. It made a nigga feel some type of way to see a bunch of YNs walking by, flashing their blicks. Like here in 2025, right? Here in 2025, this nigga feel like he accomplished something. Like this nigga feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like he done survived his rite of passage of being a YN. So now his way of flossing it or flaunting it is by walking by a Vietnamese restaurant, a restaurant whose food, whose culture, this Shinebone most likely knows absolutely nothing about. And his reaction to that is to flash his blick at whoever's there looking, whoever there, because like I said, most of the people in that shit, in that restaurant, wasn't even studying your black ass. And I'm here to specifically call out your punk ass nigga. Wasn't nobody in there studying your black ass, whether the gun was real or fake. See, this is the kind of coward shit that I be talking about. And these are the same motherfuckers who wonder why Denver ain't on the map as strong as, or really on the map at all. And will never get the same kind of clout that your Detroits, your Memphises, your Phillies, your Chicago's, hell, even your Dallases, even your Atlantas, got, have established. Denver, you'll never have that shit, bro. And it's because of fuck niggas like that who, again, because I'm like, nigga, if you so tough, bro, why don't you come through the hood? Why don't you come? Because, nigga, I'm in your city. You ain't in my city flashing your blicks. You in your city flashing blicks. And you doing it around the most unsuspecting people. You doing it towards people who ain't even trying to bust a grape with you for real. Because unlike you, they've accomplished a little bit more in life than achieving a YN status. This is the kind of fuck shit I be talking about that be going on down here. Nigga, you wouldn't dare come through my city doing that fuck shit, bro. I'm here to call your bitch ass out on that fact right here, right now. Or any of these other cities lingering throughout, especially over there on the East Coast, nigga. Even on the West Coast, you wouldn't be in Los Angeles flashing your blick like that, real or fake. I'm telling you the same exact thing. Any street hustler, any street ninja, any hood ninja would tell you from these other cities that was straight up bitch made, straight bitch made. So, seeing that I'm on some miscellaneous type shit, right? Let me go on pick on the niggas. Let me go on do what I love to do when it comes to you Negroes. Because with me having a dragon style class and whatnot, using this phone, that lasting 2 hours, I'm kind of low on battery power, but I'm gonna use the time that I got until it expires. And if I gotta drag this on to another video, it is what it is. Fuck it. But let me go say what I gotta say about you fuck niggas, right? And not just YNs. I mean the community as a collective, right? Because the planet is transitioning. The world is transitioning, even though albeit it's transitioning into the lake of fire, going to hell in the handbasket. And you going with it. It just takes me back. It takes me back to my David Carroll lessons when he was alive. God rest. Yeah, may that man rest in peace. Because it's been about 4 years since he gave up the ghost due to his unfortunately due to his his smoking habit. And how he would reference Sergeant Waters from A Soldier Story. And I did a video on this several years ago. And do y'all know that just shortly just shortly after I did that video, an Amazon Prime example of something that happened to me. Because I think I talked to y'all about this self-defense situation that I was in, where you had some geechie living with us, and the geechie's girlfriend came in on some trespassing type shit, don't even belong there, being a whole scraggle-daggle, and for whatever reason decided, I'm like, you can't escape these motherfuckers. It decided to pull a knife on me, and I had to fuck her ass up, which I most certainly did. and I made a video. I mean, it was just after. I mean, it was just shortly after I made that video that that bullshit happened. That was back in 2020. But back then, that was the video where I was referencing what Sergeant Waters said, and I think I made the title of the video. Do you know what, you know, the damage just one ignorant ass ninja can do? One ignorant ass ninja can do, and you know that was the summary of what I was talking. The summary of what I was talking about in that video, in that series of videos, is that an ignorant ass ninja can do quite a bit damage, quite a bit of damage. Now, here's my thing, right? Here's my predicament. Y'all know my story. Y'all know where I'm from. Y'all know my city is black as hell. Y'all know my city broke as hell. That's why I came out here. But unfortunately, out here, it's got niggas. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, I mean, when you look at it from a statistics point of view, it's not a whole lot of niggas. It's not like it's a whole gang of niggas out here, but it's niggas. And niggas, I mean, it's almost like, bro, and you know, you make an effort to escape niggas, right? And here's been my thing, and I said this too. I've stated, it would seem to me that as much as niggas claim that they can't stand our black asses, they sure as hell do make an effort to stick around us. Because it seems to me that anywhere and everywhere you go, here they come, here they are. That you ain't gotta even, you don't even have to find the motherfuckers. They'll find you. We talking about the same group of people who, because you failed to follow the Pookie and Ray Ray route, your blackness is questioned at best and denied at worst. We talking about a group of people who, even if you ain't beefing with them and being part of the ops, if you will, they still got it out for you. They still willing to spin the block. I mean, and it just leaves men like me in a state of befuddlement that just, I mean, it just goes, but it's to be expected. This is the nigga we're talking about. This creation, like David Carroll said, this bojangling, buck dancing, step and fetch it, knuckle dragging, troglodyte, coon, Sambo, shoe shine, spear chucker, watermelon slicing monkey, this is the same prototype of the shine bone that we left down south. And now here we are in the West, and lo and behold, here we are running into the same monkey. Quite literally in the middle of America. Because even though Colorado isn't considered the Midwest, it damn well might as well be, because it's literally in the middle of the country. I don't know how the fuck Chicago and Illinois and Indiana got the Midwest, because those cities ain't, I mean, those states ain't even in the West, for real. They really should be called the Mideast. Now this is the Midwest, all right, because it's literally in the middle of the West, but due to its region and the fact that it's got mountains out here, it's called the Mountain West. But I'm here to point out another quote that Sergeant Waters said when he basically set up CJ Memphis, because all he was just a dumbass nigga from Memphis. And it's obvious that that Sergeant Waters could not stand this cone and this shine. Just call me a coon, call me a shine, call me a Sambo. I don't give a fuck. Because I'm fully aware of what eventually happened to Sergeant Waters. That at the end of the day, he was he finally realized, because he thought the reason why white folks didn't like black people so much is because they were all fools, and fools like CJ perpetuated those stereotypes. So he had this whole thing about, garnering the respect of the white man by having a colored section of troops who were just as competent, just as functional, just as agile, just as capable of what America was asking them to do as their white counterparts, being colored troops in World War II, right? So go figure, he had much contempt for the likes of a shine like CJ Memphis, as well as I believe his name was Peterson. That was his last name. I never got his first name. He was played by Denzel Washington. He added out for Southern niggas, and ironically enough, they were down south. I mean, South, like deep South, down in Louisiana, some damn where. But he had it out for Southern boys. With Peterson being from Alabama and CJ Memphis, obviously being from Memphis, he didn't like Southern niggas. Forgive me if y'all hear that I'm trying to get in some hoops, just shooting some hoops before it gets too late. It's been a good minute since I did it. I've been here all this time, and I just started that habit last year. I've been, what I'm saying? I got this basketball court, and there's another one that's further. It's a half court. This one's full court. And I just got the lucky idea, because, yeah, man, I've been hustling. Shit. So now it's just now a nigga can kind of kick back, you know what I'm saying? Get a little b-ball, shoot hoops, get some weights, which is what I did a few years back. Damn near on the verge of pressing 305. Might just press 325 by the end of the year. I mean, at least I'm hoping to get to at least 25 by the 325 by the end of the year, God willing. But anyway, y'all know the story. So Sergeant Waters set CJ's goofy ass up. He set him up with this false charge, and he knew what he was doing. And that was the whole point. CJ didn't know what he was doing, but Sergeant Waters knew that. Somebody had gotten shot. Apparently it was a white boy who got shot. And I don't remember the full details, but he was basically putting it on CJ. He was accusing CJ of shooting him. So what CJ does in a fit of rage is he basically fouled on Sergeant Waters. So now CJ in big trouble now. He He in big good trouble now because he just struck a superior officer, and now he's in the pen. He's in the brig, like they say in the military. And then he's in there, smoking his pipe, whatnot. CJ looking as dumb and as confused as ever. And he tells CJ they're talking about giving you 5 years. And CJ's still thinking about the whole gun situation, thinking he in trouble for shooting a white boy, right? And he's still up here talking about that gun ain't mine. That ain't my gun. And Sergeant Waters was like, "We know that, CJ. We know all about the gun. We changed the charges on you this morning. What you in here for striking a superior officer, and everybody seen it." And then Sergeant Water, and this is the crux, and I find it so ironic that after 5 years since my little geechie experience out here in Colorado, let alone all the geechie experiences that I had down there in that chocolate ass city that I ran up out of, this is the crux of what I have to talk about in this video. And this is something that to this day, this is what the bojangling, buck dancing, step and fetch it, cooning and buffooning, catfish frying, watermelon slicing, picking any coon shine bone, Sambo has yet to understand. The day of the geechie is gone, and you're going with it. And he talked about this. He talked about, Sergeant Waters talked to CJ saying that, a lot of people just can't seem to understand the way things are going. Like you. A lot of people can't seem to understand the way things are going. Things are happening, things are finally occurring in the earth that, if you ask me, should have been happened long ago. But I dare say, the day of the Lord is finally here. The day of vengeance is finally here. The day of judgment is finally here. A lot of people are experiencing the back end of it. And for whatever reason, they can't seem to figure out why. Even in the midst of all the fuck shit that they have done and have committed over the course of their wasted ass lives, they can't figure out why certain things are happening to them. Take for instance this buck dancing Sambo by the name of Young Scooter, right? Oh, y'all gonna hate me for this, but I don't give a fuck. We gonna cook tonight. Y'all ain't gonna like me after this one. And I'm here to tell you, your buck dancing geechie ass, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, nigga, fuck you and that nigga. Fuck you and that coon ass nigga. How the fuck you gonna be at a trap house? First of all, you not a YN, bro. You at unk status. And you doing the same fuck shit you was doing back when you was 21, 22, 23, 24. And probably even younger than that. And the fact that you got even set up that way, because, it was, I forget what kind of call they call it, but it's basically a prank call where somebody calls the cops on the house suspecting that there's some sort of criminal activity going on. You know, I've heard of that because I've seen, you know, Tariq talked about that where, you know, a lot of racists do it too, where they'll go out of their way to call the cops on your ass, and they basically trying to get you lined up by the cops. You know, they'll and be coming up there making all kinds of false claims that, oh, I saw a little girl, I saw a kidnapping victim. They're like, so yeah, so that, you know, it'll bring urgency to the cops so they can basically line your ass up. So somebody called the cops on this house about some fuck shit that was supposedly going on. And only to find out the only kind of fuck shit that was going on was the fact that they was just in the house trapping. They was in there trapping. And then this nigga, thinking that it's some sort of drug raid, runs into the backyard and hops 2 fences and messes around and injures himself in such a way that either he breaks his femur jumping those fences, or he cuts into his femoral artery, because at this point we don't even know what's going on. We don't know what happened as far as his leg and how it got like that. We don't know if that came from the impact that he came when he came crashing down, you know, jumping the fence, or if there was some barbed wire and he didn't jump high enough and it cut his ass up and slashed his femoral artery, and that's how he bled to death. We don't know. I don't know at this point. Either way, we know that the injury sliced his femoral artery and he bled out and died before, you know, by the time he, you know, even made it to the hospital, he had already expired. It is what it is. And it's one thing for a ninja to be doing some ninja type shit, right? But for a ninja to be doing that on his birthday, and then for a ninja to be doing that on his 39th birthday, that's some whole other level type shit. Cause nigga, I'm 39. So let me try to explain something to you niggas, to you dumb niggas. Cause I mean I figured, like, bro, I'm almost 40 years old. And I would be a damn fool to think at this point, and I've read books like The Bell Curve, things that basically describe you Negroes and the lack of your IQ. That supposed average 80 to 85 IQ that you supposedly have. Because nigga, I'm willing to say it's lower than that. I'm willing to say it's on some sub-Saharan type shit, which is 70 and below. Having said that, I know you niggas are dumb. Who wouldn't, who wouldn't know that better than, who knows that better than a ninja who's lived with y'all, who's endured y'all, who's basically survived y'all, and even out here every now and then gotta run into y'all, and every time I do run into y'all on some fuck shit. Your YNs are on some fuck shit. When I see y'all, I'm looking at a race that will not survive. I'm looking at a race that, despite its women claiming to be the sexiest out there, are the least dated, are the least married, And guess what? I'm amongst the men who will not date y'all, who will not marry y'all. Because I know, and you know why? Because I know how y'all are. I know how y'all are. I know the fruits that y'all bring. It's just like the Lord say in the Bible, I know your works. Now, having said that, I wouldn't feel too bad. I mean, I know y'all don't. I know y'all don't give a fuck, so you claim. Because it's not like the other races of women in Colorado are any better or different. It's Colorado's Colorado. Like, and these motherfuckers be having the nerve to wonder why the dating scene out here is cooked. And that's amongst themselves. That's amongst themselves. They can't even get along with themselves. That's why I would tell anybody, if you do come here, if you must come to Colorado, bruh, you better be on some business type shit. Don't be coming out here because these people are weird, bro. Fuck, I mean, it's a whole different type of Dr. Seuss type energy, bro. Hop on pop type shit. I told y'all about that shit. Weirdos, bro. But you know, as weird as it is, how is it that I can survive and thrive in it so well? You know how I know that? Because what I see in Denver, when I see Denver, all Denver is like I said, and I think I told y'all this too, is that it's basically an isotope of Memphis. Basically, a city that if it was basically that if Memphis was half as prosperous as Denver was, I wouldn't even have to leave Memphis like that. Not to say that I'm mad that I had to leave Memphis. No, I'm glad I had to leave Memphis. Because if I was prosperous in Memphis, I would have got shot. If I was out there doing too much, flossing my shit. Or being a goofy with my shit, with my money. Let nigga know I got all kinds of whips and all, like, just, doing the most. So I say that to say that ain't nothing out here to be looking for like that. Like I said, these motherfuckers can't even get along with themselves. How you gonna get along with them? You from Boston. You from Arizona. You from wherever. And we all say the same thing about, like, we expats, we all say the same thing about these Coloradans, bro. These weirdos, that they nosy, that, I mean, they be out here doing the most. They goofy like that. And they gene pool is trash too. I might add, these are some of the ugliest bro. I thought Memphis broads were ugly, which they are. There ain't nothing enticing about these broads. And that should be making a nigga low-key bitter, because I'm up here giving my best years, the days of my youth, to garbage ass societies full of garbage ass females, and they wondering why we ain't up here trying to bite like that. So all they can do is accuse a nigga of trying to get with them and hoping for the best, and knowing damn well I'm like, bitch. Again, just like the other cowards. I don't see you going up into I don't see you in Vegas. I don't see you in Los Angeles. I don't see you down in Miami competing with them broads. You ain't there. You ain't gonna go down there. You ain't gonna go down there flaunting your stuff, trying to show the world how sexy Denver women are. You ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna come through Miami. You so-called Denver YNs, you ain't gonna come through Memphis trying to show how tough you is, and you bad bitches of Denver, you ain't gonna come through Miami trying to show how, or Atlanta, or even Houston, trying to show how sexy you is. You not gonna do that. You ain't gonna pull up. That you ain't gonna do. I lost my train of thought. You know, I know I was talking about the goofy who basically executed his damn self. Like I said, either from cutting himself off one of these barbed wire fences, which most likely happened because it's a rare and bizarre thing to even come down, because it's not like, unless it was like a tall ass fence and the nigga just fell. Ooh, and the nigga just fell the wrong way and it shattered his shit, and the shit cut into his femoral and he bled to death. I don't know how the fuck that happened, bro, but that's that's hardly the point. To me, that's hardly the point. The point is that the day of the geechie is gone, you niggas are going with it. And I thought, but here's the thing that here's why I'm here to call you hypocrites out. Here's what I can't understand about these dusty fuck niggas. Why is it, the so-called lames, the men whom y'all deemed as lames and corny, cornballs, why is it that you trying to involve these niggas in your shit? We talk, it's 2025 now. Do y'all realize, like, I'm starting to realize the significance of that. Hold on, y'all. This dog that just came out of nowhere. Hit this dog in his motherfucking face. I ain't got no knife. And that's another thing about Colorado. They got all these mutts out here. They treat them with the utmost respect and shit. And that's what I'm here to tell another thing about you Coloradans. You bring your little pooches around here, I'll make some Chinese food out these little motherfuckers. Because I am sitting in this park, right? This motherfucker run up on me and start barking at me. Like, shit, you want to do something, bitch? I'm like, shit, do something. But again, they just a reflection of y'all. Like, yeah, all barking, no bite. Ain't trying to bust a grape like that. And when you are trying to bust a grape, you doing it on the least suspected. I mean, motherfuckers minding their own business. I ain't even trying to get no smoke with you. I ain't even trying to be your ops. Again, bro, that is the definition of bitch made and being a fuck nigga. Yeah, because I was like, where the fuck this dog come from? And then I see this dude and like, I'm not gonna chuck this motherfucking ball in this motherfucker's face. But yeah, so why are you trying? Yeah, it's 2025 now, right? Right? It's 25 years after the 2000s, after the year 2000. Y2K, remember? And shortly after that, 9/11, right? I ain't gonna lie, this dog still, I want to walk up to this motherfucker and knock the shit out of this motherfucker with this damn ball. Because his owner, he all the way off in the cut. Bro, y'all, that's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all don't know what we do to dogs back where I'm from, my hometown, bro. We'll Swiss cheese they shit, bro. I don't play that shit. You do that here, I bet you'd like to get a damn capital murder charge or some shit. On some animal cruelty type shit. Fuck one of these little bastards up. And like I said, the dogs are everywhere, bro. But yeah, it's 2025. And you know, my mind is starting to like really like sink in on that shit. Because the oldest Gen Zer, because we're millennials, we were in our teens, basically, some probably even early 20s, when 2000 hit. You know what I'm saying? And so the oldest Gen Zer, if you ask me, at least I think they're a Gen Zer, because I heard that the oldest Gen Zer might have been born in 1997. No, it just depends. So if that's the case, if that's true, that means the oldest Gen Zer is 28. Somebody born in 97 are finna be 28. And it's funny I mentioned the age 28 because there was this dude in my former city, from my former city, named what was that nigga's name? It was like Sayso. It was some wigger by the name of Sayso, something like that, who was 27, and he got his top blown off going back to Memphis. Because you know this nigga was talking about how he was staying in Vegas, then he stayed in Miami, then that nigga went back to Memphis and got his whole top took off. 27. So, as a so-called lame or goofy or cornball, you know what I'm saying, that type shit, I for the life of me cannot understand why these real ends, these YNs, and even some of these old ends are trying to involve us in your shit. And we know your fate. We have seen your fate more times than we care to even acknowledge. I've spent my whole life basically avoiding you Negroes, getting away from you Negroes, because everywhere, it's like everywhere you go, anywhere where you can be seen and found and whatnot, here come your foolishness. Here come, here come the, here come the low GPAs. Here come the high school dropouts. Here come the criminal records. Here come the Keishas, and here come the Keishas who validate all that shit, who validate you losers, who call you out, who call you out for being a quote unquote educated lame, all the while going to college themselves. Can somebody make that make sense to me? Can somebody make that make sense for me? Because that don't make a whole lot of sense. That just don't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it on here because, like I said, I'm running out of battery power. I was gonna talk about the country as a collective, but again, another video for another time when I got the battery power, the time, the effort, the energy, and the patience to do all that. Let's just, like I said, let's just stick to the niggas. Let's just talk about the niggas. And why is it that now that it seems that your numbers are starting to dwindle and more of these rappers are getting clipped left to the left and to the right, and if they're not getting clipped by the ops, they clipping they damn selves. This nigga ruptured his femoral artery running away from some cops who didn't even know why they were there. They were just there to investigate type shit. He think it's some sort of drug bust and he ain't trying to get caught, especially on his birthday. Not that the nigga should have been there in the first place on his birthday and ran off and fucked his leg up and bled to death. Cause I mean, to me, that is the weirdest shit, bro. That is the weirdest shit. That shit is. You wanna? I mean, like, nigga, you wanna talk about lame? How lame is it, bro? How lame is it to want to be cool and be friends with the lame? If we're lames, why is you trying to recruit lames into your army of fuck niggas? Can anybody answer me that? Can anybody answer me that shit? That's gotta be the lamest cornball, weird ass shit ever. You wanna take Urkel and make a whole gangbang. You wanna take Obama and make a whole Pac out of that nigga. You know this nigga a Pac. You know this, I mean a Pac. You know this nigga an Urkel. You know this nigga a lame. And I was just telling my brother, ever since we left the community, just how weird it's gotten. Man, the community done got weird since we left. Since we left you shine bones. Y'all loved falsely accusing us of being on some gay shit, right? Right? Because we didn't have what it takes to get Keisha. A disease-ridden whore who's been written off as the least desirable of females on the face of the fucking planet. Nigga, by that assessment, maybe we should have gone gay. By that assessment. Because Keisha is so goddamn masculine, by default, dealing with her, you are dating a dude. You are dealing with a nigga. You fucking a nigga by default. So you a homosexual by default, dealing with a goofy like Keisha. All her masculine ass energy. Right? But now that we've left, I've been looking at these, what's this bitch ass, what's this clown ass, sweet booty ass nigga, and he got a beard. Ain't his name like Saucy? Weird. That's what I'm saying, bro. Weird ass niggas, clown ass niggas, in the textbook definition of a bitch ass nigga. The textbook definition of bitch ass, of punk ass. Weirdos like that infiltrating the community. And you know one thing I noticed about these hoe ass niggas? If you a nigga like me and you ain't switching like that, you know how niggas be doing the most with you? But if you a hoe ass nigga like that, knowing you switching, knowing you up here doing the man butt, dealing with the man butt, you notice how niggas don't fuck with niggas like that? Am I the only one who's noticed that? And the bitches too. That bitch ass nigga will be up in the nail salon, getting his hair, getting his perm and his nails done, gossiping more than the bitches themselves. This is what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about you weird ass niggas. I mean, how weird, y'all went from being destructive on the Pookie and Ray Ray type shit, on the gang banging type shit, and y'all done took it to a whole nother level. Y'all done brought the element of homosexuality in, and we're finally starting to realize that you've been projecting you were projecting the whole time, because who are you willing to bet leads the nation when it comes to lesbian relationships? Black women. Tommy Sotomayor pointed that out. And now that your numbers have finally dwindled to such a point, here you come recruiting anybody, and I do mean anybody, who looks like you who somewhat resembles you, even though skin folk ain't kinfolk, here you come looking for them. The day of the geechie is gone. We're going with it. And it's just like your father Lucifer. It's just like you to be like your father Lucifer. To be on your way to hell and trying to take as many motherfuckers with you as you can. It's just like you to be like your father the devil. And that pretty much points out why you fuck niggas do that. Why y'all up here looking for, it's almost like at this point you looking for black men. Specifically black men. Not niggas, black men. Productive black men, like, like Accountable Commentary talks about. Brothers who listen to his podcast, brothers who have told us to come up out of these communities, to stay away from Keisha, brothers like us. Now y'all up here looking for us. I got something to say about that. I got something to say about your disrespectful ass within this the whatever limit in minutes I got left, as far as because I got about 14% on battery power. So I know I'm running on borrowed time. I'm running on an egg timer. So let me go and say what I got to say about your disrespectful ass. Community, don't ever disrespect me talking about how much you can't stand my black ass because I'm such a reminder of what you failed to accomplish. Don't you never in your life disrespect me like that. Don't you ever in your life disrespect me because because deep down you can't stand what a piece of shit you are, and you clown on niggas who go the straight and narrow because it just ain't in you to do that type shit. Which is exactly why black men ain't never praised when they're at graduations, but y'all having all kinds of cookouts after a nigga get out of jail, even with all the funny, and you know what I'm talking about, the funny stuff that go on down in prison. Don't you ever disrespect me like that. Don't you ever disrespect me with your YNs claiming that they so tough, but when they get up in the pen, they end up becoming somebody's butt wife. Don't you ever disrespect me like that. Don't you ever disrespect me claiming how much you can't stand my black ass, but here you are, got all these motherfuckers in Colorado following me around like I'm Peter Piper or some shit. Don't you ever disrespect me like that. Don't you ever disrespect me. Oh yeah, let me point this out. Let me point this out. Don't you ever, Keisha, don't you ever in your life disrespect me, disqualify me while you in your prime, but now you looking for me in your decline. Like AC be saying, don't you ever in your life disrespect me like that. Bitch, you got me so fucked up. Gonna wait until you 50, 60 years old, all shriveled up, pussy used up, and then had all kinds of fuck niggas up in that shit. And now you looking for a nigga. Because I'll tell you this, bro. I will tell you this. If I age out before I get any access to some good, high quality women, that's cool. Because the type of bitches that I've seen in my life were all kinds of fucked up. And the fact that I didn't get with any of y'all, it's a reflection of my resolve, and it's a reflection of your shitty ass gene pool. Bitch, don't you ever disrespect me like that. Ever disrespect me like that, Keisha. What's wrong with you? Fuck these old husks up here trying to get with a nigga now that they ain't got no more options. And trying to recruit the best and brightest among us Because 25 years after the fact, after the new year, after the new year, the new millennium, here y'all are, ain't figured it out yet. The YN culture, the Pookie culture. And now y'all up here dying and y'all trying to take as many souls to hell with y'all as y'all can. Just like I said, just like your daddy Lucifer. You 2/3 motherfuckers, you. Can't stand y'all niggas. And you niggas was just too damn dumb to figure that shit out. You were tried and tested. Had to live with you motherfuckers. Work with you motherfuckers. And then when we leave you niggas, when we finally found a way to get the fuck away from you niggas, y'all up here blowing each other asses off like never before. Y'all got freaks. Y'all got weird. Y'all got all kinds of freaks, weird ass niggas. All of y'all are burning with HIV because of the freaks, and not to mention the DL niggas coming out of jail. Which another thing, Keisha, don't ever disrespect me up here qualifying or disqualifying the best and brightest of black men who you know damn well don't even deserve them, but gonna turn around and get with some fuck nigga who been in the pen, who got a penchant for wee-wees because he been up in there getting fucked, getting butt fucked. And then he up here, again, spreading HIV all across the community. Atlanta, don't you ever disrespect me like that. Fuck wrong with you? Man, y'all suck. Y'all just suck, bro. I've never seen, and a part of my ransom goes into Colorado too. And I don't know whether or not to leave Colorado alone. Make a few disrespectful jokes about Colorado. Like, Colorado, don't ever disrespect me having all this hate and vitriol for the FBA who came here from another part of the world when y'all niggas ain't even hitting on shit. And that's the only reason why y'all hate us so much. Because again, we doing the most. And this is, we doing the most in your town. Don't you ever disrespect me like they're talking about something, you don't like us. You don't like us because you not like us. How about that? Don't you ever disrespect me like that. Don't you ever disrespect me chasing down the remnant of prominent black men trying to get away from your dusty ass while your community literally goes to shit. Especially now with Trump taking away all these Section 8 benefits and shit. Don't you ever disrespect me like that. Don't you ever disrespect me coming looking for me knowing that you done had all kinds of baby kids from some fuck nigga and they up here walking up and down the streets flashing they blicks at random strangers. Don't you ever disrespect me like that. Don't you ever disrespect me creating these monsters going around here flashing they blicks. Man, the black community sucks, bro. That's just what it is. And the fact that I'm here in Denver, Colorado, instead of a predominantly black city where I grew up, Memphis, Tennessee, bears testament to that shit, let alone all the things that I accomplished down there while I was down there. And what did I accomplish? I accomplished learning a gang of languages and getting degrees in 3 of them. Now, in the nigger community, that don't mean shit. Of course it don't. I wouldn't expect it to. But by that standard, I'm willing. I'm like, bet. By that standard, I'm willing to take that. And if it don't mean shit, then why are you coming around a nigga? Make it make sense. You coming around the least common. You coming around now. Now that you finally fucked up in the game. The least. And matter of fact, did I not just see who was that nigga? Was it Brian McKnight? I don't know if it was Brian McKnight. I don't remember if it was Brian McKnight, but because I do know the nigga's name. It's just at the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. But wasn't there some R&B artist from the 90s down in Cali, Colombia? He was either in Cali, Colombia or Medellin, Colombia. You see what I'm saying? And you know, I've seen several episodes of Pop the Balloon. And, you know, I'm so glad that shows like that are out and about now. Because again, the jokes write themselves, bro. The world is finally starting to see what I have known Keisha to be at least since 2000. A time like 2000, when I was stuck down there with them motherfuckers, with them disease-carrying motherfuckers. With those weave-wearing motherfuckers. And I pride myself never having gone up in one of y'all. Or what, one or two? I've been up in one or two, Keishas. Because one thing that trips me out the most too is the fact that when I was stuck down there with y'all, all this fuck shit that niggas do at your behest, right? To get one of y'all, he got to be a goon, he got to be a gangster, he got to be this, he got to be that. You know, all this goalpost moving type shit. And I didn't have to be none of that. And I attracted some of the finest of black women that Memphis had to offer. Now, I don't see that happening here in no goofy ass Denver, not the isotope of Memphis. Fuck no. But I'm just saying, and that just proves my point even more. Because apparently out here, the standard for a black man is a dusty fuck nigga with a bald head. And like I said again, by that fuck nigga standard, you know, the fact that I can't get, assuming that I can't get no broad out here, the fact that I can't get one, to me, that's a flex. I'll just take that as a flex by that goofy ass standard. And that's exactly why men like, whether it was Brian McKnight or whoever that nigga was who was that R&B artist from back in the 90s, is down in Colombia now, dealing with Colombianas. Because it's just like y'all. It's just like y'all to be up here talking about these are the men we can't get us, and we so sexy, and then these men, and it never dawned on you goofies, like never mind Keisha, just the community as a whole. It never dawned on you stupid motherfuckers that we couldn't stand your ass from the jump. We were just stuck in the same room together. But the minute we found a way to get away from your ass, the minute we had two nickels, so much as two nickels to rub together to get away from your ass, we did that shit. And we didn't do that. I know that's hard for you to believe, fuck nigga, but we didn't leave a whole cesspool of niggas just to run into another group of niggas. That's not how logic works, bruh. And now that we're seeing the same goofy mistakes, take a nigga like me, born in 85, that's seen damn near 40 years of this Section 8 welfare queen culture. And here it is, 2025. A nigga finna turn the big 4-0 out here in a matter of months. And I'm seeing not only the same caliber of Negroes from these YNs, but they're even worse. Like what they tried to make out of, because they was trying to make YNs out of us, but they couldn't do it. We stayed in school. We hit the books. We did the same exact thing that the Tuskegee Airmen did, ironically enough. We did the same thing that black people strove to do prior to LBJ and his old Section 8 word. That's why I said the making of a Negro. You Negroes are made. You are made by the very nemesis that we sworn enmity towards, perpetual enmity against. And you niggas are too dumb, stupid, and ignorant to even realize that or even care. Worst of all. That's why we can't stand you. All you are, you're nothing more than a product of white supremacy. And you're too stupid to realize it. And then you got charlatans like Pookie Johnson trying to call themselves, trying to uplift you as far as your greatness as an African queen and all that other shit. And you got her, now you got his daughter throwing him under the bus on some he say, she say type shit. We don't know who's telling the truth or who's lying. But at this point, who cares? It's just another example of so-called black love that many of us are just trying to get the fuck away from. No, nigga, you can't come to Boulder, Colorado with me. No, nigga, you can't go to Dusseldorf, Germany with me. No, nigga, you can't go to Sapporo, Hokkaido in Japan with me. No. The answer is no. Because you ain't done the work. You ain't like, you know how the gangbanger said, hey, bro, you ain't put in no work. Know what I'm talking about? You ain't put in no work, bro. Ain't that ironic? Because you know how, you want to be a gangbanger and all that other type shit. You gotta, okay, once you get beat in, once you get blessed in, you gotta go out here and do some dirt. Shit, knock some niggas upside their head. Pull some drive-bys. Hit a lick. You niggas ain't bout it. You ain't put in no work. But you wanna see what's up with me.